Wow, it's a long story, but I'll tell you real short. Basically, after I left medical school, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, and I was living in Atlanta at the time, and had gone to New York to visit a world famous makeup artist who was a friend, and he taught me his beauty formula for some covers that he was doing for Cosmopolitan, Vogue, and magazines like that, and so forth, and then I started doing some of those covers eventually, and one thing led to another, and I also became an esthetician during that time, which is a skincare specialist. And since then, I've worked with all the world's great makeup artists. They've worked with me, and I've had some great successes, and I've learned from them, and now after 26 years, they're learning from me, so to speak. Makeup is special because I never realized that I had always been artistic. And boy, you know, it's to venture out and into the world of makeup for beauty, for glamour, for film, television, theater. I mean, I've done it all for all those mediums. And I just realized that I really love it, and that it's a way for me to really be expressive. And I realized that I am a creative person, and I am an artistic person, and it just it's been very good for me. I've been very successful, and I love it. There is a difference. There's a wide range of differences when you take on a job. Mm-hmm. Okay, if it's a theatrical job, makeup is done differently. Obviously, you've heard about theatrical makeup mm-hmm. versus film makeup. There are all those differences. You may use the same products or similar products mm-hmm. for those different mediums, but each one is unique in itself. When we do, for instance, just a simple TV commercial or a television episodic, they are now shot in high def, which is high definition, and it's very crisp look on the camera, and the outcome once you film it. So makeup application has to be different, has to be flawlessly done. Most films, many are being shot in high def, but a lot of them still are shot in 35mm film, where we get those nice differences in the way that the makeup looks. You get nice shadows, and you get a little softness. It's not quite so crisp like it is for HD. And then you go into the theater realm, and it's almost like slapping makeup on. You just put a lot of it on, and it looks horrible in the first 6 rows, but from the 6th row back, it looks wonderful. So there's all these subtle differences that, as a makeup artist, you have to be very familiar with. And you have to have, obviously, the product to put the application process in its proper perspective for each medium. Well, normally when I get a model or someone new that has never worked with me and I've never worked with them, if they're hired for the job, then I have to listen to the client. The client knows kind of what they want. They will usually trust me because of my expertise. But in dealing with those models, I have to be obviously considerate. If there's a flaw or something that they know about themselves, they will usually share that with me. And I will usually, oftentimes I open myself up for that too. I will ask them, you know, is there something I need to know or something? But when the client is paying for it, they usually don't have much say-so. I usually have to go in and do. Now when I get a new celebrity in my chair, okay, I will take even a quick moment to say, you know, what do you like and what don't you like? And they will usually say, I like my eyes dark, or I like darker lipsticks or brighter lipsticks, or I like my lipstick very sheer, or this kind of thing. And sometimes if there's an issue with maybe the foundation, maybe their skin is very, very sensitive, and I have to use maybe their foundation, as long as it works for what we're doing. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's my responsibility, though, to educate the person. And kind of say, well, you know what, we really can't use your makeup, we have to use mine, and this is the reason why. And I rarely have clients that sit in my chair, or celebrities, or even models, that have an issue with that. They know I'm the authority, they know I come with many years of experience. Now when I was a first-year makeup artist, I necessarily didn't have that credibility and that authority. But after 26 years, you develop that, and there's a mutual respect, usually, when people sit in my chair. Doing it. Well, the ideal way, obviously, is we have what's called pre-production. Anything that happens in the production process, the actual filming process, needs to be planned for ahead of time. I meet with the director, I find out what the director's desires and needs are from me as a makeup artist for his particular production, maybe with the producers as well. And then I get a good feel for what they're after. And then I would like to get with the cinematographer, who's the person behind the camera. I like to find out, what are they shooting? What kind of camera are they using? Because that all makes a difference as far as how my makeup application goes on. And then, ultimately, I like to get with the lighting director if that's a separate person. Because indoors, oftentimes, we use lighting schemes or tonal qualities and lights that I need to be aware of. Some light will make the skin look more ash gray, and I need to account for that. I think one of the most valuable things is to first and foremost to study and work with for at least 1 year with a master makeup artist, such as myself. I think it's very, very important. I think they need that time to learn all the subtleties and ins and outs about the industry. And also, I study. I have books here that I study. I have tapes or CDs that I study. I work with other master makeup artists. I ask questions. If I don't know how to do something, I call one of the great makeup artists in the world, and I call him at home, and I say, listen, this is Jim Sacca from Las Vegas. I have a question. Can you help me? And you can't be fearful. You don't know it all. We're always learning. And it's, to stay with the times, you have to have that learning curve all the time.
So having said that, what was your biggest blunder?
Oh, I've had a few of them, but fortunately fewer of them as the years have gone on. Okay. I remember I was doing a makeup artist doing a makeup on a woman one time, and I have to honestly say I didn't know how to use the foundation properly. And I got some black eyeshadow when I was doing her eyes mixed in on the cheek and the foundation, and I tried to wipe it off and it just went deeper and deeper into the pore of the skin. And I just couldn't get it cleaned up well enough and then get the foundation to match and blend the rest of it. I would have been better off just to start and do it all over again, which is basically what I ended up doing. But that was, okay. Anyway, let me go back to a point where we can cut into this. Basically, after getting this foundation to the point where it was all messed up, she was frustrated, I was frustrated, and it was a learning curve for me, and it was a major blunder for me. And I was very embarrassed, but I learned from that. And it helped me become a better makeup artist in those kinds of situations. Always step back to the basics is what I learned. And if you have to start over, start over. When you're in a situation where you're under a time constraint, or you're being pressured to get something done quickly, and time is money, and they're looking at their watches going, we need it 10 minutes ago. Okay, step back to the basics. A classic example, I was on a Quentin Tarantino movie one time on the set of a movie. And they said, I was nowhere near the makeup trailers where all my stuff was. I had my set bag with a few accoutrements in it and things that I carry in my set bag. And the director walked up to me, who happened to be Quentin Tarantino, said, I need a gunshot wound to the forehead right now, and you got about a minute to do it. And I just sort of I didn't know what to do. I kind of closed my eyes, thought a minute, and went, the basics. And I realized I had some eyelash glue in my kit. I put a big glob of eyelash glue right on the forehead, kind of spread it out a little bit with some tweezers, fanned it, let it dry, put some black in the middle, took a little bit of blood, splattered it to the forehead, and he said, perfect, film it, shoot it, done, moving on. It was that quick, and it took less than a minute. So you go back to the basics. You kind of remember what is a gunshot wound. You don't need a prosthetic piece. You need something that kind of might take the place of it and look like that. And that's what I did. Being in the Marine Corps, I can say you improvise, you adapt, you overcome. And if it means mixing and matching and mixing things together in your kit to make it work, that's what you do. And you really have to kind of be that flexible, and that you may not always have everything that you need to do the job and do it the best, but you can always cut corners and you can make it work. And I think I've learned that more often from cinematographers and directors who have said, it doesn't need to be perfect, Jim. And I have cinematographers who have said, I'm going to film it in such a way, Jim, that we only need to see this part of it. And it works great. People that work with me are usually people, I like to have people that that I've known, that I have worked with before, or that I have personally trained. It's important to me to know that they can do the work. I do work with new people all the time, but if I'm the department head or I'm the key makeup artist, the one in charge, I like to hire my own people, and my prerequisites are they know what they're doing. They may not know everything I know, but have a certain skill level. If I'm the key in the makeup department, the one in charge, my first assistant needs to know as much as I do. My second, I don't expect as much. They may know how to do the beauty part of it. They may know certain aspects of the hierarchy in makeup, but they may not know all the blood work. They may not know all the prosthetics. The third assistant knows even less. They're there to maybe hold things, help with certain aspects of it, and so forth. So the different positions on especially a film or a film project, when I have other people working with me, I hire them based on what I know that they can do and how they can help me. Well, normally, if I'm the key, I usually do most of the principals. I may assign a principal or two or three to my first, depending on how many we have on a project. And then subsequently I end up spending a great deal more time in the trailer, because that's really my proper position, is I have to get all of the key people and all the featured people out the door onto the set working. And then once that is done, if I don't have any other follow-up work that needs to be done, prepping a mustache, prepping a beard, prepping a prosthetic piece or something for the scene that day, then I can go onto the set. But I will usually send my first or my second to the set to work. When my actors are on set, a makeup artist is always there. I may not always be there on the set. If there's a problem, they always come to me. So I like to know that everything is under control and everything's being taken care of. I said yes to this because my very dear friend Joelle asked me to do it. But aside from that, I looked at the potential, and I looked at how much bad information is out there. People have so many questions. The cosmetic industry in and of itself is a multi-billion dollar industry annually. And you can pick up any magazine and I see bad information in there all the time. And now that we have the internet, there's so much bad information out there floating around. There's so many people that are doing things like this that are just not giving what I feel the average person on the street needs, as well as other working makeup artists, what their particular needs and questions are. And it's up to people like myself to disseminate that information. And I don't have a problem doing it. I believe as a makeup artist I'm extremely approachable. I'm a nice person. I enjoy other people. I have people all the time that call me on the phone or email me and say, I'd like to learn from you, I'd like to apprentice, or even just a simple question. I always take the time with people to answer their questions. I enjoy makeup. Why would I not want to share with them? I remember I had a question one time, and I got Dick Smith's telephone number. Dick Smith, if you know anyone from the world of makeup, is a world-famous makeup artist, much older now, many awards behind his name. I remember I called this phone number to ask him a simple question. I was a very young makeup artist, by the way. And I just didn't know how to create this what I needed to create. And he answers the phone and goes, "Hi, hello." And I go, "Yes, may I speak to Mr. Dick Smith?" And he goes, "This is Dick." And I go, "Mr. Smith." He goes, No, call me Dick." So I said, yes, sir. I said, my name's Jim Sacca. I'm a young makeup artist in Las Vegas. I think I was in Hollywood at the time. And I said, I have a question for you. And he says, shoot. And I told him what my problem was, and he gave me an answer. And he says, and by the way, this is my home number, so feel free to call me anytime. Well, that was a major lesson for me early on in my career. You have to be able to be willing to give as much as you take from the industry as well. And he did that for me, and I'll never forget it as long as I live. And I've done it for young people and even working people in this industry for many, many years. I will continue to do so.